Hey, Michael the Parrot Wizard here with Rachel, my blue and gold macaw. And a common question I get is, can you start out with a large parrot like a macaw or even a mid-sized parrot like an Amazon African Gray? Or do you need to have prior experience, particularly with some smaller parrots? And my advice is that it's not necessarily about the prior experience, but instead about the education. The fact is, even if you have experience with a small bird, well, you still don't have experience with a large parrot, so that doesn't necessarily properly prepare you for that. The best thing is education. Learn about the species, learn about their requirements, learn about the care that the specific species you're interested in requires. Learn about what supplies you need, how much space and time you're going to need to be able to commit to that animal. And that applies whether it's a small parrot or large. See if it fits your lifestyle. Now, when it comes to the big parrot specifically, you don't necessarily have to fear that giant beak, but you definitely need to respect it. You see, whether a parrot is small or large, you don't want that parrot to be biting you because, believe me, little birds can bite quite hard and painfully just the same as the big ones. So it's much more important to follow a training methodology that doesn't get you any bites in the first place, and you can develop true mutual trust and respect with that parrot, where the parrot feels safe and at ease with you and does not feel a need to bite. Now, how can you get hands-on experience with a parrot when you don't yet have one? Particularly to discover, is this really right for you? Are you up for the task? Well, a great way to do that is to go and find a place with parrots where you can volunteer and get some hands-on experience and discover them up close and personal. Maybe you'll discover that, great, you're great at this and this is the thing for you. Maybe you'll realize that you don't want such a big parrot after all, that, hey, it's just too much, too intense, and maybe not the right thing. So see if you can volunteer at a parrot rescue where you can get one-on-one hands-on experience with some real parrots. If a parrot rescue isn't available, maybe there's a bird store or even a pet store with just a few birds, but you can go and volunteer, help out. Particularly if they have some adults, that will be a little bit more relevant and more of how that bird will be in the long run rather than just that naive young baby that hasn't matured yet. And if you can't get that hands-on experience, be sure to watch lots of videos and learn about not just the good sides, but some of the difficulties involved in parrot care and the species you're interested in particular. Now, when it comes to macaws, some of the difficulties particularly come down to their size. They are quite large, so they're going to need a very large enclosure. They have loud voices, so that might sound like a train horn resonating through the house. Macaws can also get quite aggressive during hormonal season, so it is very important to be able to understand their body language and their needs and use some training to be able to teach them to cooperate when they might not naturally want to. Baby macaws might come off as very easygoing, cuddly, and open-minded to letting anyone touch them, but adult macaws become much more set in their ways. They're much more likely to bond to one person and become aggressive toward others. Adult macaws are much more likely to bluff and possibly lunge and attack for real, so don't get carried away by seeing a cute baby macaw that seems to have very naive, benign beak that it doesn't use for anything. Adults can be more difficult, so whether you adopt an older macaw or get involved in a baby, that baby will mature into an adult eventually. So it's very important to look at adult parrot behavior and be prepared to work with it. That's where education and training can really play a big role. When it comes to training, focus on things like target training, step-up exercises, taming, and doing some trick training. As you build cooperation and a mutual understanding with your parrot will be looking forward to seeing you every day and much more eager to do things both like coming out of the cage and going back into the cage when you need to be able to put the parrot away. So training will really help build a routine and good habits that you can use throughout the day with your parrot. Follow along with all my incredible videos from allparrots.com and be sure to subscribe to All Parrots for lots of frequent tips and advice about parrot keeping. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.